Chris Steinecker. It is a Monday. It is the first day of June. Spring is upon us, or summer, or something. And I'm feeling good. How are you feeling?
Feeling great. School's out. We are in summertime. It's a Monday. Hey, a lot going on in this community. A lot going on in our country right now. I was so scared this weekend, to be honest with you, about just all the rioting and stuff across the country. But St. Pete had its fair share of protesting, and a lot of it was great and healthy. And then last night it got a little scary, but I so appreciate our police force, and I appreciate our community for keeping its act together. So it's been crazy. But as far as why we're talking about it, Joe, is like we're talking about, hey, are we safe and healthy? So it's just been a really dilemma for our businesses now. We're worried about their safety in another way. But let's go through our numbers for the weekend just to see how our health did. I know our mental health is somewhere, but our physical health is something else. Let me share the screen real quick and just show you physically how we're doing as far as our numbers. And here, all right, so hopefully you see this now. We've got still that decreasing weekly percent of positive, and that's been the case because every day we've seen the numbers go down. Unfortunately, Joe, for the first time on this 19.6, this went up for the first time in 4 days. It was hovering down. It went down to 19.1. It went back up to 19.6. So it went up a little bit. So that box is now turned red. And you can see why is when we hit this 2.1 on Saturday and Sunday, we hit a little bit over the number. So, but we have tested a heck of a lot of people as well. And we're still getting, we wanted to stay, just for everybody to remember this, we wanted to stay under 6%. We were shooting for under 4%, and we're still under now 2%. So to me, our numbers are still trending the right way. And the final piece is our hospital bed availability this weekend got a little bit better. We were at 23% on Friday. We're at 28% today. And our ventilators are still at 81%. So to me, Joe, as far as making sure everybody's wearing the flocking mask, I saw a lot of it this weekend. I actually saw more than I expected. So I'm hoping that those of you who are willing to do that are helping the rest of us. So to me, it is a story of a community that has got one positive trajectory, and we've got to get through these other trajectories of just how we're going to do as a community. But we started talking about things opening up. I said schools are out, but schools are about to come back in. And I wanted to talk about it because we have a lot of college students coming back this fall, and let's start talking about it. So let's bring in the crew from USF St. Pete.
Gentlemen.
All right, welcome, gentlemen. That's a good-looking crew, Joe. You put together a good team today, buddy. Yeah. Martin, it's good to see you. Sri, it's good to see you. I know a lot of folks know you guys in the community, but before I even get started, how about if you just do a quick introduction? And Chancellor, I'll start with yourself. Martin, if you can introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, thank you for joining us today. I'm Martin Tadlock. I'm the Regional Chancellor here at the University of South Florida, St. Petersburg.
And Martin, how long have you been in St. Pete?
4 years. This is coming up on my 5th. I came when Sri came.
Okay, so you guys have a degree in St. Pete now, at least, right? A 4-year degree, all right? Yeah. And Sri, introduce yourself to this crowd.
Thank you, Chris. Hi, I'm Sri Sundaram. I'm the Dean for the Kate Tiedemann College of Business. And yes, this is 4 years completing in St. Petersburg, and we've made a wonderful ride.
Well, it's good to see you both. And you guys have a complicated life now, and you've had one throughout this process. But Martin, before we talk about just, where you guys are heading, let's talk about where you've been. Talk about what it was like for you, because my son is in the dorms there. You guys know that. And so I saw how well you guys did this, but explain just what it's like to shut down a whole campus and what you had to go through and what you've learned from just the shutting down process, if you can even remember a part of that.
Well, in reality, I think shutting down is probably easier than starting back up, as we're starting to discover. But closing the campus and asking students to leave happened fairly quickly, as you know. We had spring break. We had a week there that was helpful because during that week we had a lot of accelerated work that we had to do in order to help students be able to stay at home, and then map out a schedule for those students to come back in time to get all of their materials out of the residential halls. Otherwise, we moving everything online went remarkably well. We had already about 38% of our courses were already online, and probably another 30 to 40% were hybrid blended delivery, where faculty do some online and some face to face. So because we've had a long history of that, it was remarkably easier to go online than a lot of our colleagues have experienced in other parts of the country. In fact, I've just got two quick accolades. Our campus, USF St. Petersburg campus, we have more nationally accredited Quality Matters online courses than any other university in the state of Florida but one. We're number 2 in the state of Florida in the number of courses that are nationally accredited online. We're number 13 in the nation in the number of courses that are nationally accredited online, which means they go through a rigorous review process to be nationally accredited as highly interactive online courses. And then our staff stepped up and were remarkable in moving all of the support services online as well. So it went remarkably well to move us online in such a short period of time, because we've just been working that way towards that. And we live in Florida. So we've always told people, look, we're in a hurricane state. You never know when you're going to have to shut down for a long period of time. So everyone needs to be ready to go online at any moment during hurricane season. There's a plan A, which is business as usual. A plan B means everything moves online, and we were well prepared to do that.
Wow. So you guys were able to kind of dust off your hurricane preparedness plan a little bit, and it assisted on this, because I know I see that beautiful campus, and yeah, you guys are literally on the water right there. So that might have been very helpful for you, right? Maybe other universities who didn't have to worry about that weren't as prepared.
Exactly. We're a Zone A campus.
Yeah.
You know what that means in hurricane season.
Absolutely. So that's beautiful that you guys you're the number 13 in the country for national accreditation of online stuff. Because even like your business school MBA program has always been ranked as one of the best online, correct?
You're absolutely right, Chris. Our online MBA program has been nationally ranked in the top 50 for several years, and so it's been wonderful to see that we have tremendous strength, as Martin was talking about, in the campus, a structure put in place that supports online education. And if you look at our history, we originally started off as a commuter school, so we were really tailoring ourselves to serve the community with evening classes, online classes. And as we were bridging more and more FDIC, or first time in college students, now we have kind of really grown a better balance between the online courses along with our commuter, that supports our commuter students with our traditional students. So we're well positioned. And so this transition was, as Martin indicated, far less painful compared to some of the other institutions who didn't have the infrastructure to support. But also our faculty were trained. So we invested in our faculty. We gave them, front end, supported them, saying, let's have these classes both online and face-to-face versions. So when they had to move, this transition was much smoother. And for the students, it was also the other side of it is that they were well equipped. They had already had an opportunity to take classes online. So the transition was less impactful from their perspective also.
Gotcha. And before we move on, Sri, you also have other services at the business school. You guys have your customer ability with the focus group areas. Did you have to shut all that down? And is that still completely down, or are you working on that?
So that's a great question, Chris, is that we did shut it down because we had to follow all the protocols. And so in the last 2 months, we have not done anything. But what we're doing now is that looking at the future, I think there may be an opportunity for us to do online focus groups. So that's where we are actually, Elliot, who's leading that effort, is testing it. We're going to do some test runs with online focus groups. Some of the advantages that now we're not restricted by sample. We can get same demographics from different communities. So it's going to open up. What we wanted to make sure is it's a secure communication that we have when we're doing these focus groups. So those are some of the things that we're working on right now. But hopefully in another month or so, we will be ready with our first focus group that can be done fully online.
Boy, I just realized that, but people are just more comfortable with Zoom now. Where I know that you might choose a different technology, but platform. But it might, and boy, that's just reimagined the whole focus group world right now. So something good has already come out of this, and we're not even done with this yet. So Martin, how many folks are you responsible for as Chancellor of University of South Florida, St. Pete? Like, how many people are we talking about?
Well, there's about 5,000 students, undergrad, grad, and then we have what are called senior auditors and non-credit pursuing individuals as well. So we probably serve around 6,000 people on the campus in a variety of ways with workshops and classes and conferences and those kind of things. And then about 360 employees on our campus, full-time employees, faculty, and staff.
Yeah. See, so a big enterprise. So like in the time, so you shut everybody down, you got everybody out of there. Now, were you able to do things at the campus like construction or other projects that actually assisted with the time, with people being gone? Were you able to do any positive efforts on campus?
Well, things have continued on campus with the remodeling of Davis Hall, for example, that is underway, the demolition of the second floor, which will be completely remodeled. The residential hall, the new one, the Osprey, is on schedule and still under construction. Our facilities people are on campus and maintaining all of the facilities. And now they're going through, of course, a sanitation process to make sure we're ready to start bringing people back. So we've had a continuation with a skeleton crew here to make sure everything is taken care of. And our security people, they're here all the time, 24/7. That's never changed. So, and then, of course, everything else, everybody's working remotely. Nothing, in fact, when we closed down the campus access for face-to-face, we became busier because on top of all of the services and the classes and everything we typically do, you layer on top of that everything related to technology, plus the pandemic and all the planning and follow-up that we have to do in regards to that. Our work week expanded, and so we're busier than ever. You look around the community, and sometimes you feel like things slowed down and the traffic got less and not as many people out on the street and so forth. But on the inside, beneath the surface, we're busier than we've ever been. It's been long days and weekends and nights taking care of all of the things that we need to do to make this work.
Well, I feel that, and we've done, I think, about 54 of these shows now, and that's we're learning a lot of good things about this kind of work away or work from home environment, and we are learning that you get some time with your family and you have conversations you might not have had, and dinners and meals you might not have had, but you're putting in about double the amount of hours, and it's intense and stressful on everybody. But so you guys have had to figure out now, and now the governor said, "Hey, get going." That you're supposed to bring people back in September. So help me understand, like, what do you feel like where are you guys at with understanding how to prepare for bringing students back for the fall semester?
There is a draft plan that's being worked on right now. It's about 125 pages long. The president's executive policy group is reviewing that draft. We meet 2 to 3 times a week to review the content of that draft as it is being unfolded. We have 9 teams that are working over different aspects of the campuses across the USF, Sarasota, here in Tampa, contributing to that document. Of course, you have to make sure that everything that goes into that document is compliant with the CDC guidelines, with our public health people, with our medical professionals and our researchers, so that we know what we're putting into that document is absolutely creating the highest level of standards in terms of safety before we bring people back. That document draft goes to our USF Board of Trustees on June the 9th, and they will look at that document, and there might be some suggestions or edits that will come after that meeting on June 9th. Then it will go to the State University System Board of Governors on June 23rd for final approval. If the Board of Governors approves the USF plan for bringing people back to campus, then we will start to implement that plan in July.
Wow. So tell me, like, I know there's a lot of parents and other students just watching now going, so you feel like you're going to, dorms will be open and new freshmen will be coming on campus?
The plan currently is, yes, we will bring students back in August. I think the first day of classes is August 24th. So the move-in time will be during that week prior to the beginning of classes, as long as everything continues as expected. Now, when I say that, of course, I'm talking about the infection rate and the conditions in the environment continue to be favorable, then of course that is the plan. But understand also that whenever you open an educational facility where people are in close quarters with one another, this is a nonlinear process. That's been stressed from the beginning. So it depends on how things are going in the community, depends on the infection rate in the local environment, because we want to ensure the very safest possible conditions for everyone that we do bring back. So it'll be a phase-in period, and it's nonlinear. It could be paused, it could start up again, it could be paused again. We just don't know. We're following very carefully all of the recommendations that are out there. We do plan to bring students back, absolutely, in the fall and put them into the residence halls, and that will be part of that plan.
As you build the plan, are there elements now that you've had to move things virtual that seem to make more sense to keep them virtual? What percentage of the things that have moved virtual is 100% coming back in the end, or you think there's some things that will stay virtual?
No, there will be a lot of things that will continue to stay virtual, and Sri can talk about this with his own faculty to give you kind of a heads up on where faculty thinking is. But we're surveying those faculty right now to determine how many faculty really want to keep their courses in a hybrid blended format or in an online format, and then accommodate that as much as we possibly can. So even though we will be open and we will bring students back, I expect that we will have a lot more people experience online education and hybrid blended kinds of delivery of education than we have in the past. We will have at-risk employees, of course, who will continue to work remotely, who may have families at risk if they bring something home, that will continue to have the ability to work remotely. So we'll have a lot more people working remotely, even though we bring students back here on campus in residence. There will be accommodations made for those kind of conditions. And I'm sure Sri can talk about his own faculty and their thinking.
Yeah, just to add to that, thank you, Martin. You're right, Joe, is that we're expecting for fall example, we still are, asking faculty who have any concerns about coming to class in person and what are the conditions, because somebody, if you look at the implementation, if you are to have an in-person class, after every class, we have to make sure the classroom is secure and safe for the next batch of students coming in. We will have all the safety, provisions that we will provide, the wipes and everything else. But to have somebody, we will make it available to the students and the faculty. So when you look at the environment, what we're also doing is to asking students as well as faculty saying who are comfortable coming in. And so based upon that, we're going to be offering many more classes online with a flexibility that they have a synchronous opportunity to participate in the classes. And also, if you look at our classroom, we're collecting data to say if there are 60 students who are able to sit in the classroom today, in the future, we're probably going to be able to do 20 to 25 students at best. So within that, then how do we accommodate the rest of the students that are registered for the class? So we're coming up with different strategies to say, can we synchronously stream it so they can participate if they're not comfortable coming to the classroom? Or if you're doing it 2 days a week, can we have one group of students coming in on Monday and the other group coming on Wednesday? Or even looking at strategies to say there are two sections of the same class that one could be registering for in person and we have X number of seats available. The others will be participating online because that's their preference to do that. So we're trying different strategies based upon the broad guidelines that Martin was talking about, that we can implement. If you look at the majority are still going to have an online experience. But what we're doing is also to enhance the online experience and saying we will have online tutoring available. We have a platform called NAC that we're able to provide online tutoring. All of our advising has gone virtual. And so we are making sure we're scrubbing our websites to make sure that they are able to reach us for appointments, for telephone calls that automatically get sent as an email so they get it responded within 24-hour period. So we're trying to make sure that the environment is conducive for this online experience, and it's an enhanced experience by the students.
So assuming all that works well, does that presents a potential material change in the revenue and expense model for the university, in that a class that, even if you're able to get back to the full 60 people, or when you're able to get back to the full 60 people, now you can have those 60 people plus another 60 online, and also potentially on the expense side to have a lot of work from home or some of the infrastructure savings. Do you see that as having the potential to materially change the money balance?
So I don't know, but I'm going to let Martin talk about the money part of it. But I think every opportunity, every challenge provides us opportunities. What we're learning is that the ability to scale is going to be much easier when we are virtual and online. So that's something, and more of our faculty that may have initially had some hesitation about going online, they're starting to find out that it is actually today's technology allows us to do a lot more when it's testing. How do you make sure it's a secure way to test that? So I think what we're finding is that there's a lot of opportunities that exist, but we wanted to again focus on first, if there was a new student coming in as a freshman, it's not only the classroom experience that they're looking for that is outside the classroom experience that allows them to grow as a citizen. How do we provide that experience? I think that's one of the things that we're going to be focusing on as we reopen, is who are we going to prioritize as people that are coming through, and also the exit side of it. Somebody who's getting ready to graduate, we wanted to make sure that they have that opportunity to have a meaningful experience as they leave, but also to provide internships, which is so valuable, as in providing the experience. How do we do that in this environment where we can still have some safety as a priority? So those are some of the things we're figuring out. But I think the opportunities that allows us is that we have the infrastructure right now. We're building and investing probably in some more infrastructure, not only on the classroom things, but as Chris was talking about, events. We used to host so many events, over 100 events in Limpip and Johal. Now, can I do the breakfast series, Sunny Side Up breakfast series virtually? And maybe there is an opportunity there because more people can stay in their offices and listen to the speakers come through. So reimagining some of that is going to happen along the way.
Yep, because we're even going to be doing a virtual pitch night, right? We've decided, you guys, we hosted the first reverse pitch night a couple months ago, and we're going to do a couple of them this year. And now I think we've set on the week after July 4th to do the first virtual pitch night over at USF St. Pete. So thank you for the opportunity to try that as well. Just sitting here talking to you guys, it just reminds me that you basically are having to figure out everything we've had to figure out as a city, because you guys basically run a city. You've got retail, residential, traffic engineering, just everything on your campus that every one of us had to do it in a little small part. You guys have had to do it. And I guess what I would say, from a Chamber of Commerce standpoint is, first of all, thank you. We're blessed that we have so many college students in St. Pete. We've got USF St. Pete, we've got Eckerd College, we've got Stetson, and we've got St. Pete College. And you and I know that makes up a great community when you have college students. And I guess what I would say is, what can the business community, if anything, Martin, do to help you guys get ready, get the community safe for the parents that are going to be dropping off students, and for the students themselves? Is there any behaviors you'd love to see us do for you to be successful?
In brief, I really think, the partnership we have with people in the community is exceptional. We are very fortunate to be in St. Petersburg. We're going to continue the internships. We're going to continue the mentoring opportunities for brand new freshmen coming in for their first time in college. And we need people in the community to be able to step up and still accommodate that, even if it has to be in some way partially virtual or maybe exclusively virtual. It just depends. We want to continue those opportunities for students, even if we can't do it exactly the way we have in the past. So we're going to need people to be creative. If you're going to be mentoring a college student as part of our Innovation Scholars Program, for example, how can you do that if you can't have them face-to-face with you all the time, as we wanted to do, as we did last year? Or in internships. We've got a lot of internships that our students participate in. How can you do those and offer those and make those still available to students because we have that need. Our students need that support, and they need to be out into the community doing those things as part of their educational program. That's who we are. And that's a big part of who we are at USF St. Petersburg. So we need those students out there.
Gotcha. Well, we do too, because they're good consumers, they're good citizens, and they care a lot about our community. So we're excited for you all. Would love to help you in any way possible. This community cares about USF St. Pete. So whatever you all need to make sure it's a safe return, let's do it. And we look forward to the days ahead together.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Chris, just one last thing to add is that I think if anything, COVID-19 has really helped us realize that the regional partners are even more critical because more and more students are looking to stay closer. So I think we have a wonderful opportunity to play. And St. Pete Community has been tremendous partnership as we, so thank you for everything you do, Joe does, and appreciate Martin's leadership in this critical.
Right on. Well done, Martin. Well done getting us through it. And now about to get to the next part of it. My student could use help on his grades if there's anything you could do for him there. But I ask you, and all you guys do is laugh. So I guess I will try someone else for that one. But thank you all for everything you're doing for our community. You can't be a great community if you don't have a great university. We have a great university. You make us a great community. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.